Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appear in our today's newspaper. So let's get started. First of all, let us see important topics of the day. And later on, we are going to see those topics from prelims and as well as mains point of view. And I'll let you know how questions can be asked from that topic. And at last, I'll be giving you prelims practice questions also so that you can understand how questions can be asked. Okay, now let us see the topics of the day. The first one is, what is the India-Australia uranium supplies agreement? So this article is talking about agreement between India and Australia, and this agreement is talking about uranium supply. Okay, here this topic is very important from your international relations, and even this topic is important from science and technology point of view. And next topic is user data exposed due to flaws in Umang portal researchers. There is one important portal called as Umang portal. So in that portal, what happened was there is leak of data. Because of this, there is issue of privacy. So now here you have to know about what is this Umang portal. So what happened in this Umang portal? On this, you may get both prelims and as well as mains question. And next topic is Supreme Court weighs SOP for urgent cases affecting citizens' life and liberty. This article is talking about how we can ensure fast justice delivery system. And here they are talking about standard operating procedure we have to come up, and we have to provide justice as soon as possible. So this topic is important from GS paper 2 under polity. And next topic is grey hornbills thrive again in Gir as 4 years of successful breeding revive a lost species. So actually this grey hornbill is naturally seen in this Gir forest area, but it became like extinct in that area. But what government did is government came up with this relocation of this grey hornbill project, and finally now after 4 years we can see the good population of this grey hornbills again in this Gir forest. So here you have to know about this Gir hornbills and grey hornbills, and you have to say about this Gir National Park. And you have to see why this national park is in news. And this topic is important from environment and ecology from GS paper 3. And next topic is gold standard India-UK trade deal is coming into effect today. So this article is talking about agreement between India and UK. And finally, this agreement is going to come into effect from today itself. So here you have to see about what are the provisions of this India-UK trade deal. On this, UPSC can ask you a mains and as well as prelims based question. Okay, read this title is, what is the India-Australia uranium supplies agreement? Okay, the keyword is uranium supplies agreement. This is the keyword. Between which country? India and Australia. And you have to see separately about this uranium. Okay, how UPSC can ask you a question? It is a very, very important topic. Okay, I'll tell you why it is important and I'll tell you how questions will come. So first question that you can expect here is, recently uranium supplies agreement is signed between India and which of the following country? Option A, USA, China, Australia, New Zealand. Like that, UPSC can give you a simple question. This type of question UPSC used to give before 2020. And in 2027, UPSC can give this kind of question. That is the first thing. And next one is, it is about uranium supplies agreement, right? Consider the following statements regarding India-Australia uranium supplies agreement. Under that, UPSC can give you 2 to 3 statements and it can ask you which are the statements above given or right or wrong. And next type of question you can see in your mains. Recently, India signed uranium supplies agreement with Australia. In the light of this statement, discuss advantages, concerns and suggest some measures. In that way, UPSC can give you a mains-based question. And for sure, in 2027 prelims, you will get a question on this because it is not a small thing. Why it is not a small thing? I'll tell. So first of all, what is uranium? Can anyone tell me the atomic number of this uranium? 235. So where we'll use this uranium majorly? Uranium is radioactive material. Yes, it can be used for nuclear fusion and as well as nuclear fusion reactions. which will be used for production of electricity, and even it can be used for making of nuclear weapons, nuclear bombs. Yes? Okay. Now, actually, this article is saying that India, Australia signed uranium supplies agreement. So, if any country which has to get uranium from other country means that country has to be part of NPT. What is the full form of NPT? Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. What does this treaty talks about? So, if any country, if it is getting uranium from any other country, it has to use that uranium for civilian purpose. And next one is they should not use this uranium for making of nuclear bombs. Only the countries which signed with this NPT, they are eligible to get this uranium. Okay, but India is not part of this NPT. India never ever signed this NPT. Why India says that? This is a discrimination. So it is not seeing all countries equally under this NPT. Because of this NPT, India didn't sign. But now Australia gave some exemptions and it said that it will supply uranium for India. So because of this, it is a major achievement for India. Without signing this NPT, now India is going to get this uranium from Australia. Because of this, it will become very important. So UPSC can give you a question on uranium guys. So your work is, you have to see about this uranium, some basic facts, and you have to see applications where we can use this uranium. And you have to see this isotopes of uranium. Have you heard about this isotopes word? Isotopes, isobars. So we have different words. So you have to know about that. Same atomic number but different mass number. That is called as isotopes, right? So you have to see about this isotopes. Based on these isotopes of this uranium, we can use it in nuclear fission reactions. Okay, clear? Now let us see this article in detail. Okay, can anyone recall which is the recent act came up by the government where we are promoting private sector entry into this nuclear power generation? Shanti. Yes, you know that, right? So recently government came up with this Shanti Act which passed in year 2025 in the month of December, which is encouraging private sector in this power production, especially nuclear power production. So already government came up with this encouraging of private sector, but what is the material that we need to start this? We need uranium. So here this uranium supplies agreement will help this Shanti Act, right? Yes or no? Can you connect this? So in this way, you have to know the basics and you have to know what is happening in the recent past, and you need to connect the present article with earlier articles. Then only you can write a very good organized structured answer. And even the prelims also, they are giving different statements, and you know the new format of the questions. They are giving 3 statements. Under that they are saying that statement 1 is supporting statement 2, statement 1 and statement 3 are contradicting each other. Yes, I already wrote this prelims test last week, right? So that kind of questions, if they are giving, they will be connecting the present, past and static, because they will be giving 3 statements. Unless and until if you are not connecting what is happening in the recent past, you cannot do that kind of questions. Okay, for that reasons, try to revise your current affairs and try to interconnect your basic knowledge with static and what is happening. Clear? Now let us try to see this article clearly. Recently, India and Australia have finalized administrative arrangements which is required for export of uranium from Australia to India under Australia-India Nuclear Cooperation Agreement. Okay, and one more type of question you can expect here is, Australia is having the largest uranium reserves in the world. Okay, Australia is having largest uranium reserves. So it can give question in this way. Consider the following countries. It can give you 3 to 4 countries or 4 to 5 countries. It can ask you to arrange them in increasing order or decreasing order based on uranium reserves. That means you have to write top 5 countries in the world which is having uranium reserves. Please make a note. That is the one type of question you can expect. And next type of question you can expect in this way is match the following or like correct pairs based question. Australia is having highest uranium reserves. Which country is having highest oil reserves? Venezuela, right? So like that they can take 3 to 4 items like oil, uranium, iron, sugar, because this kind of format of questions UPSC asked earlier. It can take 4 to 5 and it can ask you to match the following, which is the largest producer in the world. Are you understanding? Because in your geography you have this topic of resources, and from that resources topic you'll get good number of questions. If you see PYQs, mostly highest number of questions from geography came from these resources. So if that kind of resources which are there in news means, obviously you need to know that. Clear? So from this single topic you can expect 4 to 5 types of questions. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay. And now let us see here why it is important. Because India is not signatory of NPT, that is Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. And why? Why India got this exception? Even though if India is not part of this NPT, but because of some exceptions, India got this opportunity of importing uranium from Australia. So what are those advantages, or what led to have this kind of agreement is, the first one is India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement. India and US signed the Civil Nuclear Agreement. Under that agreement, we started using of this radioactive material only for making of electricity. So India bound on this agreement. So because of this, if you are signing this kind of agreement with Australia, obviously India will not violate that norms. That is the one reason they said. And this one is IEA Safeguards Agreement. India signed this IEA, that is International Energy. Okay, can you please Google this IAEA full form? Anyone? I forgot this. Okay, India signed this IAEA, International IAEA. So please see once. Atomic Energy. Okay, International Atomic Energy Agency. So India signed this agreement, and based on that agreement, India is strictly using this uranium, thorium for civil nuclear facilities only. And after signing this agreement, so this IAEA agency will come and will regularly inspect what is happening in our country in this nuclear facilities. Are we using only for this energy production, or are we developing this nuclear bombs? And this one here is NSG waiver. So India got this special waiver. Okay, even though India didn't sign this NPT, we have some waiver. So because of this, finally Australia agreed to supply uranium to India. So now you guys tell me, what is the advantage of getting uranium from Australia to India? Is that good or bad? Obviously good. So why it is good and what advantages we have? Come on, tell me. First one is we can move towards clean energy. We can decrease our reliance on coal-based or thermal energy. So if you are going for thermal energy, it will release more amount of carbon dioxide, sulfur into atmosphere. So we can reduce that kind of emissions. Okay, clean energy is one advantage. Any other things? Come on, come on. Yes, we can ensure energy security. Yes, we can control this environment pollution, and we can promote clean energy. Next. Okay, the first advantage here is we can ensure energy security, right? We can decrease our fuel imports and we can produce energy apart from this thermal energy. And this one is we can achieve our climate commitments. What are the climate commitments do we have? Net zero carbon neutrality by 2070. We can achieve it. And this one is we can increase our partnership with Australia. And this one is Australia is part of Indo-Pacific region. So that in Indo-Pacific region, we can increase collaboration with Australia. It will helpful for maritime security also. And this one is we can ensure supply chain resilience. We can build supply chains for critical minerals, and even we can enhance nuclear fuel. Obviously, it will be supporting our Shanti Act we passed in December 2025. In this way, you have to see this case. Okay, now read this title. What is it? User data exposed due to flaws in Umang portal, says researchers. Okay, do you know the portal websites where we can register? First, we have to log in with our mobile number, we have to give our mail ID. And whenever government is coming with this kind of portals, why government will come up with this kind of portals? For easy public service delivery. Yes? That is part of e-governance. Okay, governance will start, I think, next week. So that is part of e-governance. Okay, so if people want to book anything, for example, nowadays we are booking our gas cylinders. You know this, right? We have to book on online. Okay, like that we will be using this kind of portals for public service delivery. If you have any grievances, we can file that on this kind of portals. If you have any problem, we can file it on this kind of portals. So what is happening here is, obviously whenever we are giving our data, the major problem is privacy. There may be a leak of our data. The same thing happened in this Umang portal. So because of some problem, the data had been exposed. So which kind of data had been exposed here is LPG cylinder bookings data, Aadhaar numbers had been exposed. Okay, so because of this now, our IT ministry is focusing on what is the issue, how we have to fix this issue, so how we have to retrieve this data. Okay, so if this kind of big problem happened, means obviously what happened, it will lead to data breach. So here UPSC can ask you a question on this kind of Umang portal. So how UPSC can ask a question? Consider the following statements regarding Umang portal. Under that, it can give you 2 to 3 statements and it can ask you to identify which are the above statements are correct or incorrect. That is the first type of question in your prelims. And second type of question is, in 1 year, is this only portal will be in use? No, many portals, many apps came up by the government will be in use. Recently, this Sahyog portal is in use. Can you recall this? Why the Sahyog portal is in use? Why the Sahyog portal is in use? Anyone? Sahyog portal is a government portal where government can ask social media platforms to remove the content immediately. So within 4 hours or within 2 hours, they have to remove the content. Can you recall that article? Yes? So Sahyog portal is in use and Umang portal is in use. How UPSC can ask a question? Consider the following pairs: Umang portal, Sahyog portal, and they can give you what is that portal or which ministry is dealing with that portal. Is that possible question? Yes. So like that, it can take 3 to 4 portals. It can give you a match the following question, or it can ask you to identify correct pairs. Are you understanding? So in this way, UPSC can give you a question in your prelims. And governance is there for your mains. And this is part of e-governance. There is data leak now from this Umang portal. Will UPSC ask a question on mains or not? In mains? Yes, how it can ask a question? How it can ask a question? It can ask about what are the advantages of e-governance, what are the challenges of e-governance. In that challenges, can you add this article as an example? Recently, data breach from Umang portal. Yes, are you understanding? Advantages: through the Sahyog portal, government can ask the social media platforms to remove illegal or unlawful content. Yes. So in that way, whatever the articles you are getting in this news, you have to use them as value addition. That is value addition. Nothing more than that. And if you are good at this current affairs, then you can give more and more examples, more and more substantiation for your arguments. Obviously, you can get extra marks. Clear? So now let us see about this article. Researchers now identify that there is security vulnerabilities in India's Umang portal, and it is raising the concerns related to personal data. That is, there is the leak of data. Because of this, there is issue of right to privacy, and even there are some security concerns. Why? Because in Aadhaar card, you will have a number. How many digit number do you have in Aadhaar card? Huh? Uh-huh. 14, 16, 12. At least you have to remember your own number, guys. Aadhaar card number. It is very important, no? How many of you know your Aadhaar card number? Hmm? You know, but you're not able to say it is 14 number or 12 number or 16 number. Very good. 12 only, right? Okay. So here is that only is your Aadhaar card is having only your address or your name. Even it has biometric data. Your iris scan had been done, right? And even your fingerprints. So because of that, even it is having some sensitive data. Yes, by using that data, they can identify you because fingerprints are unique to everyone. No two persons will have same fingerprints, even if they are identical or non-identical twins also. Even in identical twins, they have like 99% of same genes, but their fingerprints are different. That means it is a unique character. So if this kind of data is released, means obviously your safety information can be released. So it will be a threat, right? So here you have to know about even what is Aadhaar card. Because in 2018, if you have seen PYQ of UPSC, in 2018 they gave a question on Aadhaar card. Okay. Again, they may ask because of this Aadhaar card data leak. So now let us see about this Umang portal. The full form of this Umang is Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance. Please make it. UPSC cannot ask directly the full form of Umang here, but if you are writing any other competitive examinations, there they will be asking you the full form of that kind of portals, apps, and even schemes. Umang full form is Unified Mobile Application. Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance. Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance. And it is a flagship initiative of Government of India under Digital India program. So what is Digital India is about? Digital India. They want to remove this paper and they want to ensure everything is computerized. That is part of Digital India program. Why we want to go for computerization and storage of data on online? What is the reason? To reduce corruption, to enhance efficiency, to increase public service delivery, right? So this all will come under the part of e-governance. And it offers a single window access to a wide range of services. What are the services delivered by central government, state government and local bodies? They are providing through this one single portal called as Umang portal. And obviously, whenever you are entering into any portal or app, first it will ask you to register with your mobile number or it will be asking your mail ID, everything. So that what happened, it will be registering your data. And if you want to get any benefit from the central government or state government, for sure they will be asking you Aadhaar card details. Without Aadhaar card, they will be not providing you any benefit of government, right? Because we have interlinking our bank accounts with what? Aadhaar. Then only you will be getting money transfer, that is nothing but direct benefit transfer of this government to your accounts, right? So actually this Umang portal will enable access to services like EPFO, it's nothing but it's related to pensions, healthcare services, LPG bookings, and if you want to get any certificates, you can apply for that certificates on online, and several other citizen-centric services through a single platform. And it was launched in year 2017 by our Prime Minister. Okay, and as of now, this Umang portal is providing around 2,446 services. You can see how big it is. From 240 government departments. It includes both central government and as well as state governments as well. Okay, and it supports around 23 Indian languages, including Hindi, English, Nepali, and Sanskrit. Okay, so now there is breach of data here, and you have to think about how can we ensure safety while using this kind of government portals. Okay, and now let us see next article. Read out the title, guys. Supreme Court weighs SOP, that is Standard Operating Procedure, for urgent cases affecting citizens' life and liberty. What the title means? What do you understand by reading this title? Come on, think and tell me, guys. Supreme Court weighs SOP for urgent cases affecting citizens' life and liberty. Okay, some kind of incidents need immediate justice. Yes or no? Some kind of cases, some kind of offences need immediate justice for the victims who are involved, right? So if that kind of urgent cases, if you're filing in the court, like we have different court systems like district courts, high court or supreme court. So how much time normally it will take to give justice for a civil case? It will be around 8 years. For criminal case, it will be around 10 to 12 years. So if we are spending this much time, can we ensure the timely justice delivery? No. There is a famous saying called as justice delayed is justice denied. Right. So here Supreme Court is saying that for certain cases, if they need urgent justice delivery, we need to have other mechanism. So for that reason, they are coming up with standard operating procedure for ensuring a fast justice delivery so that we can ensure life and liberty of the people, which is part of which article? Article 21, which talks about right to life and personal liberty. So this is about that title. Okay, now let us see in detail, guys. What is article? What is the background? Why it is in news? What is the impact of this? Everything we have to see. On this, UPSC can give you a mains-based question, not prelims, but mains. But if they want to ask a question related to prelims, they may ask you about Article 21. Consider the following statements regarding Article 21. And recently, we have lots of Supreme Court judgments which extended the scope of Article 21. So, can you tell me some recent examples of extension? Right to walk on footpaths is a fundamental right. Next, right to menstrual health and hygiene, fundamental right. Right to death, right to sleep. Okay, all these are fundamental rights. Don't say that right to sleep is my fundamental right. Don't wake me up till 10 a.m., 11 a.m. It is not that kind of right to sleep, okay? Yeah. So here they may give you this kind of judgments and they may ask you which of the following judgments comes under ambit of Article 21. So like that UPSC can ask you a prelims-based question. These are the two types of questions. And many a times if you see from 2018 till 2026, I think 3 times UPSC asked question on Article 21. Very simple question. Right to privacy comes under which of the following article? So this was question 2019. That kind of simple questions can also be asked in UPSC. Don't overthink in the examination hall. Okay? Yeah, now let us see here. A 3-judge Supreme Court bench headed by our Chief Justice of India agreed to consider framing of standard operating procedure for round-the-clock judicial access in urgent cases affecting citizens' life and personal liberty. Okay, so here for some cases in which there is a need of urgent justice delivery, they are going to have round the clock judicial access. Round the clock means nothing but 24/7 judicial access. For that now, our 3-judge Supreme Court bench said that we will come up with standard operating procedure. We will come up with 24/7 judiciary access to the cases which need urgent service delivery. Okay, clear? Urgent justice delivery, whenever the cases they want. Now, Supreme Court said that we'll come up with the procedure and we will try to provide round the clock, that is 24/7. Okay, so that is the thing. And if you see the background, why it is in news, why this 3-judge Supreme Court bench said that there is a petition filed by Supreme Court advocate itself. And in that petition, that advocate said that whatever the current court system is there, it is limiting the access to regular working hours. They'll come in the morning and by evening they will be winding up, right? So they will be working in only regular working hours, and that too on designated days. We will be having court holidays, right? And there is limited vacation benches. There are limited benches which are arranged by Supreme Court. So because of this, what happens? Certain cases, like sometimes the late night arrest can happen, early morning demolition can happen, deportations can happen, custodial deaths can happen. Do you know this custodial deaths in the custody, either in judicial custody or police custody? If there is a death of a person, that comes under custodial deaths. So this kind of incidents, they need immediate justice delivery. Okay, the bench also said that we can use certain things like e-filing. We can go for virtual hearings. Virtual hearings nothing but online hearings, and we can go for using of electronic records rather than the traditional methods to provide justice immediately. So on this petition, now the 3-judge Supreme Court bench said that yes, we will work on this. We will come up with a standard operating procedure. Like for this kind of custodial debts, when they can apply. So what is the procedure they have to apply? Which platforms they have to use for virtual hearing? So they will come up with a proper procedure. That is the thing which mainly said by this Supreme Court bench. Okay, now what exactly Supreme Court said is, yes, we are going to create standard operating procedure so that we can provide justice day or night, even on weekends, even on holidays, or even when Supreme Court is in recess. So that time also we can provide justice. And next one is, so what are the cases that they are going to take? They will not take every case. They will going to take the cases like illegal detentions, especially across this border area, India and other country borders. We will be having the problem of illegal migration. There will go for detentions. So in that kind of cases, and this one is demolition of homes. Next one is deportation, means nothing but sending back them to their country, and custodial violence. And if there is any other government actions or taking, if that actions are causing irreversible harm, all these cases will be getting now 24/7 justice availability. Okay. And next one is, what are the methods they are suggesting now? They can go for e-filing. There is nothing but electronic filing of cases, emails, even through phone calls, or even through a simple letter. They can activate the justice system. And this one is, they are also saying that they will use already existing digital infrastructure, like already during this COVID-19 time, everything went on online. At that time, even judgment also given through this online. So now, whatever the already existing system is there with the courts, they can use that virtual hearings and even electronic records. And the important aim of this is to provide justice within a very less time. Okay, that is the thing, guys. And what is the impact of this kind of initiative? First one is, we can ensure fundamental rights. We can ensure Article 21 talks about right to life and personal liberty. And we are going to provide 24/7 justice delivery system. And we are not limiting providing of justice to this court timings. And obviously we can prevent irreversible harm. And this one is, we can ensure rule of law. And we can reduce response time of judges and courts. This will be the potential impacts. And try to add this current affairs in your judiciary topic. We already gave you handouts now. In that Supreme Court handout, please add one paper. Under this, write down this article base. So this kind of updates that you have to make to your class notes. Okay, see this next article, read out the title. Grey hornbills thrive again in Gir as 4 years of successful breeding revive a lost species. The keyword here is Indian grey hornbill, where in Gir National Park. Recently we discussed about Gir National Park. What is the reason? Huh? Lion next. Apart from lion, we discussed about one important disease there. Which is a common disease faced by this lion? Why we are talking about relocation of lion from this Gir National Park? Come on. Canine distemper virus. If you go back, then only you'll come across that, right? Okay. So here, why we discussed about this Gir National Park is there is one article which is suggesting the relocation of Asiatic lions because lions are more susceptible to this canine distemper virus, right? If we are placing all these lions in one area means easily this virus can be transmitted and that will lead to the wiping out of population of lion. Rather than that, we have to go for translocating of that lions in this Gir National Park to nearby areas, which is a suggested national park to be translocated, Puno National Park. Okay, like, and one more question I want to ask, what government had been suggested? Government suggested one wildlife sanctuary in Gujarat itself. What is that name of that wildlife sanctuary? Very good. Just check it out once. Okay, now let us see here. This article is talking about grey hornbills. So how UPSC can ask you a question? Consider the following statements regarding grey hornbill. Under that it can give you 2 to 3 statements and it can ask you to identify correct or incorrect. That is a one type of question. And next one is, now this grey hornbills is seen in which area? Gir National Park. Okay, so there is a chance of giving you a match the following question. On one side grey hornbills, yes, on one side cheetah, on one side Asiatic lions, and they'll ask you to identify like in which national park they are located. They may give you match the following based question or pair based question. Are you understanding? So you have to be careful. And every year minimum 1 to 2 questions you can expect on this animals. Last time they gave about lion-tailed macaque. This time they may give about hornbill. And this hornbill is seen many a times in your PYQs, especially in the options. From environment and ecology, you have to see in detail about the animals which are given in the options of earlier questions. On that only UPSC will frame question again and again, but it will be changing the format of the question. Okay, if you know the basic facts, you can do such kind of questions. And whenever you are seeing that animals in environment, try to use Google and try to see image of that animal. If you see image, then only you can remember for long. Okay, now let us see the context. Indian grey hornbills have returned to Gujarat Gir forest after vanishing more than 6 decades ago. That means 60 years ago, there was no earlier we used to have, but from last 60 years onwards, we are not seeing any population of this hornbills in this Gujarat area. But what they did is they went for relocation project. Earlier, I think you might have heard about this cheetah relocation. What is cheetah relocation project? Earlier, we used to have cheetahs in our country, but because of this entertainment purpose or the sports of this kings at that time during medieval period, that led to extinct of these cheetahs. And recently government started this relocation project and we are getting cheetahs from Africa and we are relocating into India and we have now, yes, we are reproducing that cheetahs in our country. So the same way, what government did was, government came up with this reintroduction project in 2021. In 2021, what they did was, there are around 40 birds, they were released into this Gir National Park in 2021. And now what happened? There is good number of this grey hornbill population in this Gir National Park. Okay, whenever you are now in the news, we have reintroduction project of cheetah, reintroduction project of hornbill. So how can UPSC ask you a question in the mains? It can ask a question on reintroduction and conservation of animals. Conservation of biodiversity is very important topic in your environment and ecology. And in that conservation, we have ex situ and in situ conservation. In your environment and ecology, you'll come across all these topics, ex situ and in situ. Ex situ is nothing but we are taking that animal from that place and we are providing artificial environment and we are protecting that. In situ is nothing but we are going and taking steps in that place where it is located and we are increasing its population. UPSC can ask you a question on this conservation of biodiversity, and in this context they may ask you about what is in situ and ex situ conservation and they may ask you about examples. In that, they will be asking about even reintroduction project, how far it is success. In how far it is success, you can give examples of reintroduction of cheetah project and reintroduction of hornbill project. Are you understanding? So in this way, you have to use your current affairs. Okay, now let us see some facts regarding this success. Why it is success? Why it is success? Because of it is having strong habitat protection. And next one is they went for careful pre-release habitat assessment. Before releasing itself, they analyzed which area they have to release them and which area is safe area, whether we have this electric lanes or not, power lines, everything they saw. And next one is they used advanced monitoring of satellite tracking. Recently we discussed about one tracking system of animal. What is that? Radio collars. Yes, radio waves. Even here also they used some advanced monitoring system of satellite tracking, and they went for understanding of their behavior and how they are adjusting everything. Recently we discussed about we saved one vulture because of this using of radio waves. Can you recall that article? In the same way we used that kind of similar technology. And even we understood about the natural adaptation, and even we came to know whether this animal is having the threats. So this bird is having the threats in that environment or not. Because of all these things, now we had a success. Okay, now your work is you have to Google about some facts related to hornbill. Where it is seen. Is it seen in only India? Or apart from India, we can see in any other country? What is its habitat? What is its weight? Okay, it will feeds on what? Because UPSC can ask a question on these things. Okay, see this article guys, read out the title. Gold standard India-UK trade deal is coming into effect today. This article is talking about India-UK trade deal. And finally, it is coming into effect from today. Okay. How UPSC can ask you a question? Consider the following statements regarding India-UK trade deal. Under that, it can give you 2 to 3 statements and it can ask you to identify correct or incorrect. From mains point of view, is that important? This is important from international relations and even it is important from economy point of view. Because this deal is talking about trade. Okay, in mains, how UPSC can ask you a question? What are the provisions, advantages, challenges, measures? So these are the areas UPSC can ask you in mains point of view. Okay, now let us see here. If you see this infographic, now we'll get lots of information related to what are the points that you have to remember and recall for your examination. The first important point here is what are the terms of the trade. India-UK Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, that is called as CETA, Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement. And next one is Double Contribution Convention, DCCs, are set to come into force on Wednesday. So here you have to know about this Double Contribution Convention. How UPSC can ask a question in prelims? Recently, Double Contribution Convention is in news. It is signed between option A, India-US, India-France, India-UK, India-Australia. That is a one type of question. Second type of question is, recently Double Contribution Convention is in news. What it is? Choose the correct option. A, B, C, D. Possible question. Okay, you have to focus on this Double Contribution Convention because you know about this economic and trade treaty, you can know. But this is a new word. Whenever you're getting this new kind of keywords, you need to know exactly what is the meaning of it, on which UPSC can ask you a question. You have to focus on such minor things also. And second point here is under this CETA, UK will immediately eliminate tariffs on 96.8% of its tariff line, and it will be accounting for around 97.7% of trade value with India. That means it is going to remove tariffs on around 96.8% of goods of India, and its value is around 97.7% of trade between India and UK. That is the first. And this one is India will immediately eliminate tariffs on 30.3% of trade value. It includes around 47% of 47% more seeing tariffs eliminated in the phased manner. So here India said that UK said that on 96% of goods we are going to remove tariff. In retaliation, India said that we will remove on 30% of goods as of now, and if we go on with the time, we can increase that to 47% of goods on which we can remove the tariff. And next one is this DCCC will exempt Indian workers and their employers from paying social security contributions in the UK for 5 years if contributions are made in India. You know the social security, right? So whatever the salary you will be getting, you have to pay some amount as PF. And after once you retire, you will be getting lump sum amount at the time of retirement. Based on that, you will be also getting monthly pension. Yes. So here DCC talks about social security benefits. If you are paying in India, no need of paying in UK for 5 years. That is this double contribution convention. No need of double contribution. If you are paying in India for 5 years, there is no need of paying in UK if you are working in UK. Understood? For example, I got job and I went to UK. Earlier, I will be, for example, if earlier I am doing job in India, I will be paying this contribution, social security contribution for Indian government, right? So if I am paying already here from last 5 years, so there is no need of paying of next 5 years in UK. After 5 years, again I have to pay in UK if I settle in this UK. That is about this DCC, double contribution convention. No need of paying of the social security twice in India and as well as UK simultaneously. If you pay in India, it's okay. That is this DCC. DCC will exempt Indian workers and their employers from paying social security contributions in UK for 5 years if their contributions are made in India. If already they are paying in India for 5 years, no need of paying that contributions in UK. That is this DCC. Please make a note of it. It is very important. I'll zoom in. Can you say this? DCC will exempt, please make a note, DCC will exempt Indian workers. DCC will exempt Indian workers and their employers from paying social security contributions in the UK for 5 years. In the UK for 5 years, if contributions are being made in India. If contributions are made in India, keep star mark for that. Okay, next one. There are certain sensitive sectors. Yes, India is famous for agriculture, India is famous for dairy sector, India is the second largest producer of milk. If you are including this goods as a free trade agreement, is that right? No, our Indians will be getting affected. So because of this, India is protecting sensitive sectors under this agreement. Which are those sensitive sectors? We have dairy, cereals, pulses, vegetables, gold and jewelry, smartphones and critical polymers. So these are the sensitive sectors which are being protected from India's side. Okay, now you guys know about what are the provisions of this trade deal. First one is CETA, Free Trade Agreement. Next one is DCC. Next one is coverage. So now what will be the impact of this agreement? Obviously, it will boost bilateral trade between India and UK. It will increase our exports. Our goods will be exempted from tariff so that our goods will become competitive in UK's market. And next one is we are also protecting our sensitive sectors like dairy, gems and jewelry, cereals, vegetables. So we are also protecting our farmers, fishermen, workers, women entrepreneurs. And next one is we can enhance our India service exports and even we can send skilled workforce to this UK. So that what happened after they come back, they'll bring the technology to our country from that country and we can enhance our developments and we can enhance our technology in our country. and obviously it will leads to improving of India-UK bilateral ties, and even we can boost our innovation, and we can boost our small and medium enterprises, digital trade, etc. So these are the possible positive impacts of this deal, guys. Okay, see these questions. First one is about Umang portal. Okay, consider the following statements regarding Umang portal. The first one is Umang stands for Unified Mobile Application for New Age Governance. Second one is to provide access to services offered by central government, state government, and local bodies through a single platform. Third one is the the portal is available only as a mobile application and has no web version. And next one is DigiLocker and other base services are integrated with this Umang platform. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is no option of 1, 2, 3, 4, guys. You have to eliminate one statement. B. Okay, it is not only available in mobile application, because if government is providing anything, obviously it will provide in the wide ranges. Why it will provide only app? They didn't said about app. If it is app, then it will be opening only in mobile, right? So portal will be opened in this laptops, computers. It is also providing the web version. So here this will be wrong. So answer will be 1, 2, and 4. Try to eliminate the statements. Okay. See this next one, guys, with reference to Indian grey hornbill. It is endemic to India. It is commonly found in urban gardens and agricultural landscapes. It plays an important ecological role in seed disperser. You don't know this. Try to solve this by using common sense and elimination of the statements. 1 and 3. 3 is right, because birds, what they'll do? They'll eat fruits and they will do shit. They will spread the seeds. This 3 will be there for sure in your answer. Eliminate one statement, one option here. 3 will be there. Okay, see in these two. It is commonly is general statement. General, commonly seen in urban areas and agriculture. Means rural areas also we can see and urban areas also we can see. This will be there. Okay, now see here. This bird is seen only in India. Common sense. Actually, it is seen in even in Nepal also. Eliminate this. Answer is 2 and 3. Okay, so if you practice more multiple choice questions and as well as your PYQs, you will know exactly where UPSC will keep the trap. Okay, then you have to think that, and you have to remember the traps, and you should not fall in the traps in the next examination. That is your work. That's it. So see where the traps will be, how the language of UPSC will be. If you practice multiple questions, obviously you'll get that. And you have to solve the paper based on that traps, based on that UPSC language. If UPSC gives the new type of questions, they will give the new arrangement, but they will not change the language, right? So if you understand the language, obviously no one will stop you to clear this prelims. Clear? Yeah, that's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And if you have not yet been subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe, guys. And if you want to start your preparation and if you want to take coaching in our academy, we are providing GS Prelims cum Mains Foundation course. We are providing both on online and offline, guys. And the new one is going to be started on 18th of this July. So if you want, so please do get in touch, guys. Please to call us on this number 8074765513. And I wish you all the best.